massive industry redefining changes, they often start quietly, maybe in places you wouldn't expect. Today, we're diving deep into something pretty monumental, a huge shift in how steel is made right in the heart of India. It's more than just a business plan. It feels like a real vision, a commitment to a cleaner, more self-reliant future for the whole country. It could genuinely set new global benchmarks.
Absolutely. And what we're looking at here is, well, it's a really captivating case where you see global collaboration meshing perfectly with local innovation. We're not just talking about building another factory here. This is about creating a brand new facility designed from the ground up to be a global standard for sustainable manufacturing. It's pushing the envelope on what green industry can actually achieve.
Right. Let's unpack this a bit. We've been tracking this story, and it's one of, incredible ambition, isn't it? Groundbreaking innovation and a really serious, unwavering commitment to green industrialization. It really weaves together economic growth and environmental responsibility in a way that's, frankly, quite eye-opening. So, yeah, get ready. We're going to explore some pretty significant developments in steel, sustainability, and India's industrial scene that might just reshape how you view heavy industry altogether. Let's jump right in then to the heart of this revolution that seems to be unfolding. Mukand Sumi Special Steel Limited, MSSSL, let's call them. They've announced this huge investment, 2,345 crore. And like you said, this isn't just tinkering around the edges. It's a completely new integrated steelmaking facility built from scratch. The scale alone tells you it's a bold, long-term play.
Exactly. Built from the ground up. It's a greenfield project. And that's key because it gives them a totally blank slate, right? A massive opportunity to embed innovation and sustainability into every single part of the design and the operations from day one.
And the timeline. Set to start operations by early 2028. Which, in terms of big industrial projects, that feels pretty soon. It signals a real turning point.
Yeah, it's an aggressive timeline. And the structure of MSSSL itself is really important here. It's this powerful joint venture, right? Between India's Bajaj Group, they hold 51% through Jayamnal Sons Private Limited, and Japan's Sumitomo Corporation holding the other 49%. So this isn't just an Indian company operating alone. It's a strategic alliance. You get the deep industrial know-how and local market understanding from India, combined with cutting-edge tech expertise and global quality standards from Japan. It makes them a really formidable force, ready to lead, not just, follow market trends.
That blend of expertise makes a lot of sense for something this ambitious.
It does. And think about their current output. Right now, MSSSL produces about 350,000 tons of special steel each year, mostly for automotive and engineering sectors. But this new facility, it's designed to double that. We're talking a staggering 700,000 tons per year.
Wow, double.
Yeah. That kind of jump immediately puts MSSSL among India's absolute top special steel manufacturers, a huge increase in their market footprint and influence.
And crucially, it's not just about making more steel, is it? It's about high-quality special steel, the kind that's absolutely critical. Think about automotive powertrains, components for high-speed rail, the really demanding conditions in oil and gas, vital energy projects, even precision parts like bearings. This isn't just generic stuff. It's the foundational material, the backbone for these essential, often high-stress industries. It needs incredible quality, incredible durability.
Exactly. And if you connect that to the bigger picture, India's strategic goals. This project slots perfectly into the Atma Nirbhar Maratha initiative. That push for national self-reliance, it's not just about manufacturing capacity. It's strategically insulating India's core sectors, automotive, defense, energy, from the shocks of global supply chain issues. Think about the geopolitical leverage, the economic stability that comes from having this domestic capability. It helps shift India from being just a consumer of specialized materials to a real player, potentially setting its own terms in key industrial areas.
Okay, so the what and who are clear, but with a project this massive, location is everything. So why Kanakapura in Kapal? What's the thinking behind choosing this specific spot in Karnataka?
Well, there's definitely some strategic foresight at play there. Karnataka, as a state, has really surged as a major hub for industrial investment. I mean, look at the Global Investors Meet 2025. The state government pulled in commitments worth, an incredible 10.27 lakh crore.
Huge numbers.
Huge. And what's particularly interesting is how Kopal, which is in North Karnataka, is really stepping into the spotlight. Over 45%, almost half of those recent investment pledges are actually heading specifically to that region. That signals a really significant shift, doesn't it? Away from just Bangalore towards more decentralized industrial growth.
Right, spreading the development out.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And beyond just the investment figures, the practical side of Kanakapura makes sense too. It's got excellent connectivity, which is crucial for logistics, right?
Yeah.
Getting raw materials in, shipping finished goods out. It's relatively close to essential raw material sources, simplifying the supply chain. And there's already some supportive infrastructure in place that they can build on and expand. Put it all together, and it looks like a prime location for the kind of scale MSSL is aiming for.
And that point about decentralization feels really important. It's not another project centered solely on Bengaluru, which we see so often. This is actively channeling significant economic activity and, crucially, thousands of jobs directly into North Karnataka. It helps foster more balanced regional development, spreading the benefits much wider.
Absolutely. It's a strategic distribution of opportunity. And the facility itself, the physical plant, is pretty impressive on paper. It's sprawling across about 101.5 acres. It's designed as a fully integrated operation, iron making, steel making, the blooming mill operations all on one site. But the critical thing is how it's being designed. They're incorporating advanced automation and digital integration right from the very beginning to ensure efficiency, precision, the works.
Okay, that brings us to what might be the most radical part of this whole thing, the claimed commitment to sustainability. I mean, for steel, an industry with a pretty challenging environmental history, what does that commitment actually mean on the ground? How revolutionary can it really be?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And MSSSL has put forward this concept, a zero liquid, solid, and gaseous discharge model. Now that sounds ambitious, maybe even like marketing speak, but they seem serious. It means engineering the entire plant to essentially recycle and reuse every single drop of water, to treat all airborne emissions so thoroughly they're practically non-existent, and to find beneficial uses for all solid byproducts, basically creating a closed-loop system. Nothing wasted, nothing released untreated.
Zero discharge, that's a huge claim for steelmaking.
It's genuinely groundbreaking if they pull it off at this scale. For an industry historically known for its environmental footprint, it's, well, revolutionary. And then there's the energy side. This is also quite remarkable. They're committing to meeting over 95% of the plant's energy needs through renewable sources.
95%.
Over 95%. That's a monumental step towards their bigger goal, which is achieving net zero steel manufacturing by 2050. And signals they're not just aiming for compliance, they want to lead the charge to demonstrate what's actually possible for a truly sustainable industrial future.
And it seems they're not stopping there. They're looking even further ahead.
That's right. They're planning future phases already. Things like incorporating hydrogen-ready infrastructure or preparing the plant for potentially even cleaner energy down the line, and also advanced carbon capture technologies. So it's not just about meeting today's environmental standards. It feels like they're actively trying to set the future standard for eco-friendly steel production globally, innovating ahead of the curve.
It makes you wonder why this focus is so intense now. Why push so hard on sustainability?
Well, it's profoundly crucial, isn't it? Steel manufacturing is notoriously energy intensive. Historically, it's been one of the biggest industrial emitters. So what MSSSL is doing here is directly challenging that status quo. They're trying to prove that profitability and genuine environmental responsibility don't just coexist. They can actually drive innovation together. It completely changes the narrative around what heavy industry could be.
It really is a profound shift for an industry often seen as, well, an environmental heavy hitter. But what are the biggest hurdles in rethinking an entire industrial process like this? Are there unexpected trade-offs or specific innovations needed to make this complete rethink actually work?
Yeah, that's a great point. Probably the biggest challenge is just overcoming decades, centuries really, of established processes and, frankly, established mindsets. Achieving this near total circularity for water, waste, emissions, it needs more than just bolting on some new tech. It demands a complete re-engineering of almost every single step, from raw material handling right through to the finished product. You're integrating diverse systems, water treatment, energy management, waste utilization, often in ways that haven't been done before at this kind of industrial scale.
So the complexity must be immense.
Immense. The trade-off, if you want to call it that, is definitely the upfront investment, which is huge, and the sheer complexity of the design and implementation. But the potential long-term payoff, both for the environment and likely for operational efficiency and resource use, it's enormous. They're essentially trying to build tomorrow's factory, but starting today.
Okay, let's pivot slightly then. We've talked scale, vision, green credentials, but none of that works without the core technology.
Yeah.
What's actually inside this plant that will let MSSSL produce this exceptionally high-grade special steel? Because it's not just volume, it's about top-tier quality, right?
Precisely. Quality is paramount for the markets they're targeting. The Kanakapura plant is set to feature some really advanced kit, like the jumbo bloom caster. Think of it as a highly sophisticated machine that casts these massive, high-quality steel blocks, they call them blooms, directly from molten metal, much larger and more consistently than traditional methods allow.
Okay, so bigger starting blocks means.
It means you can produce larger final products and maintain very high internal quality, which is critical for special steel grades. Then, alongside that, you'll have modern rolling mills to precisely shape these blooms. And, crucially, comprehensive, very advanced testing and inspection facilities. These aren't just add-ons, they're integral. These innovations are specifically chosen to guarantee the steel meets the incredibly strict quality demands from global OEMs, the big manufacturers for critical components, things used in powertrains, railway systems, precision bearings. We're talking absolute reliability under extreme stress.
And they're weaving in Industry 4.0 principles, too, you mentioned. How does that play out in a steel plant?
Yeah, it's about pushing efficiency and intelligence further. So yes, extensive automation is part of it, but it's also about embedding a network of sensors throughout the process using data analytics, maybe even AI, across all operations. This allows for real-time monitoring, seeing exactly what's happening when it's happening, and predictive maintenance, spotting potential issues with equipment before they cause downtime rather than just reacting after something breaks.
So it's not just making steel, it's making it smarter, more efficient, consistent, world-class quality that customers anywhere can rely on.
Exactly. And that technological edge translates directly into tangible benefits. You're looking at significantly less waste, optimized use of energy and raw materials, and a production process that consistently delivers top-tier steel. All of that undoubtedly will make MSSSL a highly preferred supplier globally. It strengthens their competitive position significantly.
Okay, let's zoom out again. We have the scale, the green vision, the tech. But beyond the impressive stats and initiatives, what does this project ultimately mean for India's broader strategic position? How does it translate into a more self-sufficient, more competitive nation on the world stage?
Well, a huge aspect is job creation, right? We touched on it earlier. This project is expected to create thousands of jobs, both direct jobs within the plant and indirect jobs in supporting industries and services. That provides a really substantial boost to the local economy there in Kopal. And it aligns perfectly with Karnataka's wider goals for inclusive growth and hitting those ambitious job targets. Remember the 6 lakh jobs projected from the 2025 Investors Meet. This contributes directly.
So a direct local impact, definitely.
Definitely. But then there are the ripple effects. By supplying this high-quality special steel to vital domestic industries, automotive, heavy engineering, railways, MSSSL, is directly supporting and strengthening India's own critical infrastructure and manufacturing base. It's like providing a crucial high-performance component for a much larger national machine, helping it run smoother and stronger.
Yeah, I see that. It feeds into other key sectors.
Yeah, precisely. And furthermore, the plans focus on producing steel that meets export quality standards. That will undoubtedly enhance India's reputation and standing in the global marketplace. This isn't just about domestic supply. It contributes to earning valuable foreign exchange, yes, but it also bolsters the nation's overall economic resilience. It helps position India as a reliable, high-quality global supplier. It's part of shifting the perception, from made in India, just meaning affordable, to made in India, signifying world-class quality and sustainability.
So the takeaway is it's about building more than just a factory. It's contributing to a stronger, more self-sufficient India, equipped to compete globally with top-tier products, a strategic piece in national development.
I think that's a fair assessment, yes.
Of course, no project this ambitious comes without hurdles. Even with this incredible vision, there are always significant challenges to navigate. We've seen the blueprint looks impressive, but what about the practicalities? Making it happen, sustaining it.
You're right, reality always bites. A critical hurdle, almost certainly, will be securing all the necessary environmental clearances. Now, MSSSL's unprecedented commitment to sustainability, the Zero Discharge Model, the high renewable energy use that should, theoretically, help smooth the path. But navigating the regulatory process still requires meticulous transparency, diligence, proof. These clearances are absolutely non-negotiable, especially for a project of this magnitude and environmental ambition. They have to get it right.
And there's a local context too, isn't there? Other projects facing pushback.
Yeah, that's definitely worth noting. There's history in the region. Other large industrial ventures like the Baldota Group's proposed 54,000 crore steel factory, also planned for Copal, have faced significant local opposition, primarily over pollution concerns. Now, MSSSL's proactive embrace of these eco-friendly technologies does set a very different, much more positive precedent, but it underscores the need for really robust community engagement. Clear, consistent communication will be absolutely essential to gain and maintain local trust and support. It's not just about having the best tech, it's about building relationships, improving responsibility. That can often be the trickiest part for these mega projects, especially where there's been past negative experiences.
Right. So you wouldn't frame these challenges as like insurmountable roadblocks, but more as integral parts of the whole journey, things that have to be managed carefully.
Exactly. It highlights that responsible development is paramount. Environmental stewardship and community trust are just as vital to success as the engineering and the finance.
Okay. So as we start to wrap up this deep dive, it really feels like this Kanakapura facility is a genuinely significant step for India's industrial future. It clearly embodies that spirit of self-reliance, Atma, in a way that's very tangible, very impactful.
I agree. And the real genius, I think, is that powerful synergy we talked about. That blend of Indian industrial strength from Bajaj and the cutting-edge tech expertise from Japan's Sumitomo. This partnership isn't just constructing a plant. It feels like they're creating a potential blueprint for future large-scale ventures. It really strengthens India's position as a formidable, high-quality manufacturing force on the global stage.
Yeah. As we've discussed today, come early 2028, this plant won't just be doubling MSSL's output. It aims to establish an entirely new standard for sustainable manufacturing. With those commitments to zero discharge, near total renewable energy, it really could be a beacon of innovation and environmental responsibility, setting standards that might resonate way beyond India.
It has that potential, absolutely.
So for you listening, as you watch these kinds of industrial transformations happening, the story of green steel in Karnataka, it's more than just news about a factory, isn't it? It feels like a powerful case study. It really makes you wonder if an industry as historically challenging, as emission-heavy as steel, can make such a radical pivot towards zero waste and renewables. What other long-held assumptions about dirty industries are maybe, just maybe, ready to be challenged? What seemingly impossible transformation could be quietly gathering steam in the sector you follow closely?
And that raises a really important question for the future, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How might this specific model integrated green industrial growth, focused on local development and global standards and radical sustainability, how might that influence our whole understanding of what progress and innovation even mean in the coming decades? Especially as the world grapples with climate change, resource limits, all of that.
Lots to think about there. Thank you for diving deep with us into this really remarkable story of green steel emerging in Karnataka. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and we'll catch you on the next deep dive.